Everyone is personality spam. What do I mean by that? Most most rooms that you would be in on a daily basis. I mean, that goes for work, that goes for school, that goes for, when you're home, maybe with your, friends, or you're at a bar with your friends, or you're doing whatever, wherever you are, any social event. The bigger the group, the more likely that this is going to happen. The less everybody knows each other, the less well everybody knows each other, the more likely this is to happen. But everybody is personality spam. They're all trying to, it's almost as if everybody is trying to sell their personality. It's like you are just bombarded with spam of personalities in every room that you are in. It is just personality sales. That's all it is. In most rooms, there's actually no real conversations of depth, understanding, true connection, true, like, intellectually honest or insightful conversations going on. It's mostly just very superficial, personality spam driven conversations. It's everyone's showing, and they're all doing this, right? Everybody is doing the same thing without without understanding that everybody is kind of doing the same thing. They want to think that everybody's kind of paying attention to them and their personality spam and their sales, and hey, look at how interesting I am, or funny, or intelligent I am, or thoughtful, or kind, or maybe I'm dark and mysterious, and maybe a little moody, or maybe I'm quirky, maybe I'm just odd, I'm just an oddball, so quirky, what could he be like? Maybe I'm just don't care, I just, oh, look at, just everything I say shows how much I don't care. Or maybe I'm an instigator, maybe I just like to just say, incendiary things and instigate. Like, the personality packages come in all shapes and sizes, colors. It spans everything, right? Everybody is trying to sell you on their personality, basically saying, well, it has these perks, this perks, give this attention, put your attention, that your limited energy, bring it here. You need to invest in this personality, right? Personality sales is what it is. And this was something that I only really came to notice and kind of sort of flesh out in, being able to articulate it in this way, when I noticed that I did it myself, for the longest time. Now, in almost every situation, every social situation that I'm in on a daily basis, whether that's at work or out or anywhere where there's people, I'm almost entirely silent all the time. I don't say hardly anything, nothing. I'm almost mute. It's and I just kind of prefer it that way because, well, there's enough going on around me, I know that I've kind of seen in myself that most of what I say is this, most of what I used to say is this kind of, it comes from this personality spam type thing, where I'm putting all this energy, or I was putting all this energy into selling everybody on myself, right? And it comes off as, when you haven't seen this, when you haven't like sort of seen this level of like how everybody operates in society nowadays, this is 99% of people that do this. When you haven't recognized this on sort of a deeper, um, like perceptive level, um, you don't know that you're doing it yourself, really, right? You don't really recognize it in other people. And so you don't, because you still haven't recognized it in yourself. You have to recognize things in yourself, and then you recognize in other people. And that's how I sort of recognize this personality spam, is because, I recognize that in myself. Um, I was just like, it was sort of this realization that I had that, I always felt like, when I was around people, um, whether it was a lot of people at work or with friends or, wherever at some social event or even with family, um, I would, I tended to notice that I was just waiting for sort of my turn to show how, interesting or unique, or how, you know, what I thought of a certain topic, or what my, you know, contribution to the discussion was. But mostly this is mostly a thing that shows itself. The personality spam is mostly a thing that shows itself most um, glaringly in when you're with strangers, because people don't know you yet. The less I'm saying that, that's why I said the less that they know you, the more that this occurs, because everybody's just trying to sell themselves, man. And it comes off as, when you finally see this, all of this just comes off as just very obviously desperate, right? It's obviously desperate, and it's obviously insecure. It's obviously self-conscious. It's obviously coming from a place of perhaps a lack of self-love, or self-sufficiency, self-reliance. It comes from a place of codependency, perhaps. Um, and so you really start to see, and it's crazy that it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere, everybody, all the time. They're all doing it. They're all doing it. They're all trying, go to any bar, go to a show or a social event, um, go to like a one of those league games of like sports that are in your area. There's tons of those things where, men and women like to meet. Go to the park, go to the movies, just go where anybody likes to, be social or talk. Um, First dates. I mean, just go on a first date. That's mainly what a first date is. I mean, it's just, that's why I can't do that stuff, man. That is just, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. Like, we're just gonna sit here, and then we're just gonna shoot personality spam at each other, and just like, yeah, let's show how unique and peculiar and interesting and we are, and why you should invest in us. It's like, this is an interview. I always hated interviews too. It's clearly just, it's desperate, you know? And that's kind of why I stopped talking, because I recognize that in myself. So in most situations, I don't talk at all now. And I like that. Um, it's still kind of entertaining to see like everybody do their thing. Everybody's like going through the motions of all their, showing everybody, how cool they are. Um, and so it's interesting to see. It's also, you start to notice that you do, when you suspend your preoccupation of trying to show everyone else how interesting you are, what's crazy is that you actually end up noticing how interesting other people are more. You start to really pay attention to other people a lot more. you pick up on their little intricacies and quirks, and you notice like certain patterns of their behavior and what they say. You start to develop a genuine interest in other people when when you recognize this personality spam in yourself. And when you suspend it, and you're no longer wasting this energy on doing it, on putting out this show for everybody all the time, when you're finally just good within yourself and you're not trying to be anything or like show anybody anything or impress anybody in any way, now you can finally really pay attention to other people. And it is very enjoyable in a way. Um, like truly it is. You wouldn't think, but, um, and they sense, and what's interesting is that they sense that you are different, because everybody, they don't know that they're perceiving these things. They're probably not consciously aware that they're picking up on these things, but everybody picks up on these things on a subconscious level. And so most people tend to pick up on, okay, this person is different, because this person, in a room full of people that are constantly trying to get a word in and nobody's listening to each other and everybody's trying to put on this display and this show of, how interesting they are, this person is just completely silent, but not in a way of, like moodiness or, like an unbalanced way where like maybe some people are like very, very quiet, but they're like bearing everything inside. And then when you finally like get them to open up, they're just like a floodgate. They just like, their personality spam times 1,000. We've all met people like that, I think. But they tend to notice because of the work that you've done, because of what you recognize in yourself, that even when they get to talk to you, you are very selective with your words. Every word is you don't really waste words. You only speak until you recognize that they're not listening anymore. You're not just gonna bombard them with word bombs. You're just, mouth vomit. If they ever speak to you, you are almost always just very genuine in the sense that you are more paying attention to others than you are trying to show something of yourself. And when they actually want to interact with you, you are very careful to sort of evaluate what level they are on. And if you're speaking to somebody who, is hearing your words, or if most of your words are going to be wasted on this person. And most people you are going to waste words on. I mean, that's just the way that it is. It's just how society is nowadays. But yeah, if you can find those people that are actually present, if they are present, that usually means that they have recognized this in themselves as well. And those people, man, you got to cherish, because they are rare. And you can actually have real conversations with those people because they have a deeper level of understanding there. But yeah, personality spam, that is a huge issue of our time. And it's crazy because most people who are caught up in it, I would say everyone that's caught up in it, they don't recognize it because they're caught up in it, and they don't see that it's happening all around them or see it in other people. They probably have a intuition, maybe like a little sick feeling that, or just not sick, but like an off feeling that like something's wrong. Like these people, for what it was for me is, you end up kind of getting the sense, or you get this feeling that you have spent your entire life in rooms, talking to people, and it seems as if nobody was actually in these rooms. Like nobody was actually there. You constantly get this sense that you're talking to yourself, right? Nobody's actually listening. Nobody's actually really paying attention because they're all busy doing the same thing you're doing. Everybody's putting on the show, right? So nobody's actually, and it's all personality spam anyway. So it's not actually things of substance that are being said. They're all just kind of superficial, sort of, bait basically, or book covers. Let me show you how big my book cover is, and you open and you read the flap and the summary and everything. So that's basically all it is. So it's not really anything of depth or anything real that's being said anyway. So yeah, just try to pick up on it. Try to notice this within yourself, and try to pick up on this in other people. It's definitely a very interesting thing. But yeah, unfortunately, most people just don't want to do the inner work on themselves. And so everybody's just very unconscious. And that's where we get this, 99% of people are just personality spam, especially in situations where people don't know each other that well. It's just because nobody's actually journeying inward. They're not getting self-reflective, self-aware enough to the point where they recognize what's going on within themselves, how they are operating in the world when they go out into the world. And so they don't really see it in other people. And inner work is huge. But everybody's just distracted, today. Some distraction, take a pill, smoke something, drink something, scroll, distractions on distractions on distractions, everything to get away from what's actually going on between their ears. So to be expected, I guess. But yeah, that's a video.